The stage is now set. Champions League Final is tonight at the legendary Allianz Arena in Munich. Two of Europe's most tactically evolved sides meet in a Champions League final that few would have predicted just a year ago. Paris Saint-Germain, a team reborn under Luis Enrique, are seeking their first ever Champions League title. No longer built around a single superstar, this PSG side is youthful, dynamic, and driven by system over individuals. Their opponents, Inter Milan, a team steeped in tactical discipline, resilience, and a rich European pedigree. Simone Inzaghi's men have quietly built one of the most balanced squads on the continent, mixing hard-nosed defending with clinical counter-attacks. This isn't just a clash of two clubs, it's a battle between philosophies. It's Dembélé, Vitinha, Marquinhos versus Bastoni, Barella, Martinez. In this video, we're diving deep into the tactical layers that could define this final, from key matchups to set-piece threats. We'll analyze what each manager might have up their sleeve and who could walk away as champions of Europe. After years of trying to build around superstars like Neymar, Mbappe, and Messi, Luis Enrique has ushered in a tactical revolution at PSG. His approach, well, it's prioritizing collective structure over individual stardom. Build a squad where every player has a defined role, emphasize pressing, possession, and fluidity. This PSG side has embraced a 4-3-3 system that morphs in and out of shape depending on the phase of play. In attack, they use aggressive fullbacks like Hakimi and Nuno Mendes to stretch the pitch, while midfielders like Vitinha and Fabian Ruiz control the tempo and recycle possession. But the real X factor lies in the front three. Ousmane Dembélé has rediscovered his form, constantly stretching defences with his pace and 1v1 ability. Kvaratskhelia, PSG's marquee signing from Napoli, brings flair and unpredictability, often cutting inside from the left and linking play through half spaces. And then of course there's Désiré Doué, just 19 years of age but already showing incredible maturity and movement off the ball. He often drifts between the lines, making him a nightmare to mark. Together alongside Bradley Barcola, this quartet have combined for over 40 goals and assists in the Champions League and Ligue 1 this season. And unlike past PSG iterations, this team presses from the front. Dembélé and Doué lead the first line of pressure, while Kvaratskhelia often tucks in to block passing lanes. The intent is clear: win the ball back quickly, attack even quicker. Luis Enrique has instilled discipline, identity, and an attacking blueprint that's made PSG not just entertaining, but incredibly hard to beat. But how will this youthful, high-energy attack cope with one of Europe's most organised defences? That's the story we explore next. If PSG represent a new age fluid philosophy, Inter Milan are the epitome of strategic consistency. Under Simone Inzaghi, Inter have crafted a machine-like identity rooted in structured build-up, spatial control, and game management. Inter Milan have kept faith in the 3-5-2 formation, a system that gives them a numerical edge in midfield and defensive balance in transition. At the back, the trio of Bastoni, Acerbi, and Pavard operate like clockwork, rotating positions fluidly, covering wide spaces, and stepping into midfield when needed. Their shape off the ball, impeccable. They absorb pressure, remain compact, and patiently wait for mistakes. Against possession-heavy teams like, say, a Barcelona or a Bayern Munich, they show just how effective this passive-aggressive style can be. In the midfield, Hakan Çalhanoğlu plays the regista role with elegance, dropping deep to dictate tempo and launch switches of play. Alongside him, Nicolò Barella, the engine of this side, brings relentless energy and intelligent pressing. And then of course out wide in this 3-5-2 shape, Denzel Dumfries and Federico Di Marco. They stretch the field both vertically and horizontally. Their dual role, wingbacks in attack, fullbacks in defense, gives Inter dynamic flexibility depending on the phase of play. And then of course up top, it's all about the chemistry. Lautaro Martinez has been in sensational form this season, the Argentines' clever positioning and ruthless finishing are perfectly complemented by Marcus Thuram's strength and vertical running. Together, they've been able to form one of Europe's most potent strike partnerships, scoring a combined 40 goals in all competitions. But what makes Inzaghi's side dangerous isn't just their personnel, it's their ability to read the rhythm of a game. They know when to press, when to drop, and when to strike. Against a team like PSG, who thrives on verticality and space, Inter's compactness and positional discipline may prove to be their greatest weapon. Coming up, we'll break down the tactical matchups that could decide this final, who wins the wings, who dominates the midfield, and how the forward duels will shape the night in Munich. So let's break down the tactical matchups that will shape this final, and of course we have to start with the headline act: PSG's explosive front three versus Inter's experienced back line. Désiré Doué versus Benjamin Pavard on PSG's left flank will be an aggressive technical battle. Doué will look to cut inside and pull Inter's shape apart, while Pavard must stay disciplined, delaying Doué's moves without getting drawn too deep and exposing the channels. Now, on the right-hand side, we could have a battle between Kvaratskhelia and Bastoni. Not a natural wide defender, but a composed presence who can step up or drop depending on the shape. Kvaratskhelia's unpredictability will test Bastoni's decision-making, especially when Hakimi overlaps into space. Now, probably the most intriguing battle that we might see this evening will be Ousmane Dembélé versus Francesco Acerbi. Dembélé is all movement and chaos. This guy will drop between the lines, he'll drag defenders and link up play with Vitinha and Fabian Ruiz. Acerbi, now in the twilight of his career, does bring composure and anticipation, but the big question will be, can he match Dembele's dynamism for 90 minutes? Now, of course, I've spoken about PSG's front three and of course the defense of Inter Milan, but as we know, PSG's front three, it could all change. At this current moment in time, this is how I think the two sides will, of course, match up at the back there. But we know PSG's front three is so fluid. We could see Kvaratskhelia on one side or through the middle, Dembélé, who will go out wide at times, and Désiré Doué or Bradley Barcola potentially playing through the middle or out wide. So who knows what exactly will happen on the night. But this final won't be defined by the front lines. I think most of us know the midfield battles may be where the war is truly won. For PSG, the trio of Vitinha, João Neves and Fabian Ruiz offers energy, control and progressive passing. In particular, Vitinha, he has grown into a tempo setter under Luis Enrique, constantly offering himself in build-up, while Neves is someone who adds bite and spatial awareness. And Fabian Ruiz ties everything together with his nimble footwork and tidy play, especially his football IQ in the middle of the park. And of course, Inter Milan's midfield, Hakan, Çalhanoğlu, Nicolò, Barella and Enrique, perhaps Europe's most balanced midfield potentially. Now, Çalhanoğlu will try and drop deep to orchestrate Inter's play, often overshadowed by a Doué or a Neves, while Barella, he'll try to press high, seek turnovers and break lines with late runs. Mkhitaryan acts as the connector, smart with movement, intelligent with space. The midfield battle is where transitions will form or fizzle. If PSG can bypass Inter's midfield press, they can overload the defensive line quickly. But if Inter can cut passing lanes and isolate PSG's wide players, they'll slow the game down to their rhythm and allow players like DeMarco and Dumfries to really thrive. In big finals, it's not just who plays better, it's who controls the tempo. Next up, we will explore one of the most decisive elements in any final, especially a European final, and that is the set-piece strategy. Who holds the edge from dead ball situations? Now, set pieces, usually overlooked until they decide a final. Both PSG and Inter Milan have shown their capacity to weaponize dead ball situations this season. Let's break down how. Now, Inter Milan, true to Italian tradition, are masters of structure and deception in the box. They've scored 9 goals from set pieces in this year's Champions League, many of them through classic Serie A routines. crowded near post screens, late runs from Barella, and aerial dominance from Acerbi and Bastoni. But I will say keep an eye on their stacked formations, where players bunch together and peel off late. It creates confusion in zonal systems like PSG's. Meanwhile, PSG have leaned on more creative routines under Luis Enrique. They have scored 7 goals from set plays in Europe this season, but most came through short corners, third man runs, and second phase chaos. Hakimi often floats to the edge of the box for recycled crosses, while Vitinha positions himself just outside the area for cutbacks. Their threat is less about brute force, more about structured improvisation. All it takes is one well-timed leap. It could decide everything. As we enter the final stretch of our preview, let's put it all together and deliver our tactical prediction for how this chess match in Munich might unfold. So the big question is, who holds the edge? Tactically, PSG may enter as the more fluid side, more adventurous, more unpredictable. Luis Enrique's positional play and front three movement can unlock even the most disciplined back lines. But Inter Milan's structure is built for this kind of opponent. They know how to nullify tempo, frustrate flair, and exploit transitions, as we saw against Barcelona. In finals, that control matters. A match of margins, a final worthy of the Allianz Arena. Will it be PSG's first Champions League crown or another feather in Inter's storied cap? We'll find out soon, but until then, guys, make sure you smash a like, share, and subscribe to the channel, and make sure you drop your score prediction in the comments and who you think will lift the trophy this evening. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you guys soon. Peace!